the candidate forum. It's exciting that each of you guys are here today. We have, want to thank KDSK Radio for doing it live today, so everyone can hear in the Rio Rancho, Sandoval County area what the candidates have to say, and so you can help make your decision on November 6th. Also want to thank Premier Theaters for letting us use this facility today. Really appreciate them. And then it's also sponsored by the Rio Rancho Chamber and NAIOP Roundtable in Rio Rancho. So very excited to have everyone here. We're going to get started here very quickly, and we're going to start off with the sheriffs. So to start out here, we'll give each candidate an opportunity for about 1 minute to introduce themselves and talk about why they're running. And we'll start off with Jesse James for sheriff.
Hello, nice to see you guys out here. Kind of was thinking it was going to be more people out here, but my name's Jesse Casaus, a candidate for sheriff, and running for sheriff, it's been a dream of mine for a while, but long story short, I got 18 years experience law enforcement with a degree, but aside from that, I think what's just as important is that you have a sheriff that is approachable, a problem solver, and willing to listen, and those are all the qualities that I have, and that's about it.
Okay, thank you. Keith? You can stand up.
Okay. I'm Keith Elder. I'm on the ballot as Darrell K. Elder, second position. I've been in law enforcement almost 35 years, and I started out with the state police, retired after 22 years of service, and went to work for the sheriff's office, and have gone up through the ranks from deputy to detective. I'm currently administrative lieutenant with the sheriff's office, and I've had command over patrol investigations and court services. So I've got a real good picture of what's going on with the sheriff's office right now. As the administrative lieutenant, I'm over in the training, recruiting, community relations, and animal control. So it's really a passion of mine that law enforcement is actually something that I really, really value, and a profession that I think that it is a profession as opposed to just a job. So I thank you all for being here.
Okay, next up we have for Sandoval County Magistrate Judge Delilah Montano Baca. Yes, you can stand.
Good evening. So I'm Delilah Montano Baca. I'm the current Magistrate Judge in Division 3. I've been the Magistrate Judge for the past 12 years. I have some extensive experience as a court employee. I started off as a clerk, moved up to work for the parole board for the state of New Mexico, and then the natural progression for me was to run for Magistrate Judge, and I've been doing that for the last 12 years. I have a degree in criminal justice. I am a legal secretary, certified legal secretary, but I enjoy doing this position, and I enjoy being a judge because I'm actually able to help people and actually introduce and actually maintain the integrity of the judiciary, which I am very, very proud to be a part of. Thank you for all having me here today.
Good evening. My name is Anne Marie Maxwell Chavez. I'm running for Sandoval County Magistrate Judge Division 1. I grew up in Grants, New Mexico, and I've lived in Rio Rancho for 35 years. I have 18 years legal experience, which includes bankruptcy, business law, contract negotiation, tort litigation, commercial litigation, real estate, and appellate work. I was also a manager at Bank of America for 7 years. I worked at Magistrate Court for 5 years, where I was a warrant enforcement, as well as assisted both magistrate judges. Magistrate Court is responsible for the disposition of civil cases, under $10,000, landlord-tenant cases, traffic violations, and misdemeanors. For example, possession of controlled substance, DWI battery, suspended revoked license. I've been with District Court for 5 years. I've worked civil, probate, and family cases. I'm currently working competency cases and criminal cases, as well as in the courtroom with the presiding judge. Thank you.
All right, next up.
Good evening. My name is Justin Garcia, and I'm running for Magistrate Judge in Division 3. Robert Johnson said that the world is run by people that show up. So first of all, I want to thank you for showing up tonight. The bedrock of any prosperous community begins with public safety. Whether you're at home, at work, at schools, or gathering just as we are tonight, that begins with fair yet tough judges. As a guardian for justice in the last 14 years, I've been in public safety. That's been my entire career. I ask you to join me on my journey from badge to the bench. I've dedicated myself as an altruistic public servant. I've maintained myself both with the Sandoval County Sheriff's Office, with the Rio Rancho Police Department, but not just in uniform. I've also represented myself as a community leader. For the last 14 years, I've also represented myself as chairman of the Sandoval County DWI Planning Council. I was the president of Rio Rancho Police Communications Association and Balloon Fiesta Park member on the commission, among any other things. So please join me, and I thank you on my fight to keep our community safe and to be tough on crime. Thank you.
Okay, and thank you very much for being here today. So that's the magistrate judges. One judge that is not here today is Dan Stoddard. He had a family emergency and will not be joining us this evening. And we'll move on to probate judges.
My name is Charles J. Aguilar. I'm a lifelong resident of Sandoval County, a retired educator with Bernalillo Public Schools. I live in Bernalillo, and I have served as mayor of the town of Bernalillo for 12 consecutive years. I also served as a town councilor 4 years before being mayor. And also, I have been probate judge, a full term from 2006 to 2010, and a half term from 2012 to 2014. And the reason I'm running is because I love to serve my community, and I would appreciate your vote and your support on November the 6th. Les pido su voto y su apoyo para la elección de juez de pruebas.
Okay, and finally, Sandra Atwood.
Good evening. My name is Sandra Atwood, and I am running for Sandoval County Probate Judge. Thank you to the Rio Rancho Chamber of Commerce and NAOP for putting on this event. It's great to have informed voters get out there at the ballot box. My family and I have lived here in Sandoval County for 11 years, and we love it here. We've made it our home. It will be our permanent home. And I am looking for another way to serve my community. My background is 17 years in small business, and then another 45 years lifelong committed to serving the community in volunteer positions. I've served on the board of directors of A Park Above and other organizations here locally. I have a great administrative background, and I know I would do a great job. I think part of serving the community, serving Sandoval County, is the willingness to always be available, showing up every day, and making sure the public you have the public's best interest in mind. Thank you. I'd appreciate your vote on November 6th.
Okay, thank you. All right, we're going to get started with the questions. And the very first questions go into the sheriffs, and it'll go to Keith first. So Keith, very first question for the sheriffs is the public is consistently reminded that the crime rate has increased in New Mexico. What are your thoughts on this topic?
Well, you're correct. Crime keeps increasing across New Mexico. We're very fortunate in Rio Rancho, Sandoval County that crime has stayed pretty stable, that it hasn't been increasing like counties adjacent to ours, particularly to the south. And a lot of that's attributed to two things. One, the law enforcement officers that are on staff with the various agencies within Sandoval County, and particularly the sheriff's office, and the court system. But it's also another side of the coin with the court system that is allowing criminals to be released back to the street to reoffend. We had a case here recently where mailboxes were being broken into up in Placitas. An arrest was made, and then the offenders were released and then reoffended in Albuquerque, and it resulted in the death of a mother and a daughter. The Arnold tool needs to be revisited. It was actually presented as a constitutional amendment that the voters were actually, to a large degree, I feel like were taken advantage of or misled with it. And I think that that amendment needs to be revisited and reevaluated to be corrected so that New Mexico is not in the forefront of criminal activity. And I thank you for the time.
Okay, thank you, Keith. And Jesse, how would you address the same question?
Well, I want to mirror what my opponent said, and but only add that is the reason why it's imperative. Whoever comes out triumphant implements the type of drug interdiction team unit, where I plan on taking highway interdiction to the streets, along with a narcotics unit, especially with the, as my opponent said, the bleed over from the county to the south into our county. It's just so crucial that this gets addressed. And, just with a collaborative effort with other agencies, I think is also crucial, which I believe now is non-existent with the Sheriff's Office. Hope that answers it. Thank you.
Great, thank you. All right, then we'll move on to the magistrate judges, and we'll start out with Anne Marie. So Anne Marie, on our very first question for the magistrate judges is qualifications for a magistrate judge include legal experience, good moral character, and judicial temperament. Describe how you rank in each of these areas.
Thank you. I feel that I rank highly in all areas. My 28 years experience in the judicial and legal field are a testament to my ability to view neutrally in all aspects of the situation. My moral compass is based on 6 pillars of character, trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, and citizenship, all of which are key to being a successful magistrate judge. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, same question. Next up, we have Justin.
I might need this. Thank you. I rank highly in all 3 categories. First of all, legal experience. Legal experience is vast in my field. I started out before school as a legal assistant with a public service company in Mexico. I wanted to become an attorney, and I decided law enforcement was my next career. As we know, law enforcement interacts daily with our court system. My legal experience is vast in that sense, and has continued to be as we uphold the rights of suspects, victims, and the citizens every single day. Moral character. I heard it said that integrity is the shield to vanity and greed. This is true, and I've held it true ever since I started my career and ever since I've been in my life, but especially, and I hold it true to my heart as a father, because I pass that on and I impart that to my daughter every single day. And I think it's important that we do that with our children, and I'll do that from the bench as well. Judicial temperance is something that has come exceedingly more into the foreground, as we will talk about later, but it's a common point pillar that is necessary for the experience necessary on the court. The magistrate system is an extremely important court in our state and in our county, and we must be able to remain impartial and fair. We must be able to ensure that all of these dealings have no personal benefit to us as judges, and especially that we take no personal pride or preference in asking other judges for favors or reaching out on our own personal behalf to ensure that we can do the best we can. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. All right, we'll move on to the probate judges. So the question for the probate judges are, do you think the public is well informed about the probate process in New Mexico? If not, what changes can you recommend to improve it?